What cheer, y'all? Well, we're back from at Royal Ascot, and we're back at the States, and we have got a great weekend of racing coming up at Churchill Downs. And the featured race, I would say, in my opinion, is the Stephen Foster. It's a Grade 1, the 11th race on the card, running a mile and an eighth for 4-year-olds and up. And it's a field of seven, but we know all these players for the most part. So none should be a surprise to us. We'll talk about each of them. First mission we'll start with. This is a horse that, really the question is he a grade one horse? I mean, I think we've answered that question to my opinion, and I don't really think he is. But he is a solid performer. To me, he's more of a grade two type. This is a paceless race for the most part. We don't have a confirmed front runner, nobody really to point to. I'm going to guess it'll be Skippy Longstocking, but it could very well be Ashcroft. I don't know. He's really the only horse who doesn't belong here in the slightest. And just as a side note, one of two I'm going to make. I've never seen a horse who's changed trainers so many times. This is an owner who obviously doesn't understand, has, I think, excessive expectations for this horse because just hasn't proven it a number of times, entered in graded stakes, and just seems to keep changing trainers like that's going to make the difference. And it hasn't. The last one, second side note is so sad to hear about D. Wayne Lucas today. And the coach did train this horse. It'll now be Baz Nichols, I guess, who takes over. But just want to make a note that I posted this on X as well. But whether you like the coach or not, certainly he is a polarizing figure. He inspires a lot of opinions one way or the other. You can't deny what he has done for thoroughbred horse racing. He really put it on the map in his heyday. His record speaks for itself. He's a tremendous trainer of thoroughbreds as well as quarter horses. He's the only guy. It'll soon be Bob Baffert as well, I think. But he's right now he's the only trainer in the quarter horse as well as thoroughbred halls of fame. It's a very big loss to not have him training horses any longer, and just wanted why it's really pretty awesome what you consider what he did in really a fairly short amount of time compared to some of the other trainers he surpassed, like Charlie Winningham, who've been doing it for 40 years or so. So a phenomenal trainer. An awesome record, and was without a doubt a credit to thoroughbred horse racing. So, thoughts and prayers to the family for the coach, and we wish him well for sure. But aside from that, this is one thing the coach is kind of gets a knock for, is that he seems to put horses in races where they don't belong sometimes, and I think this is a great example of it. And Ashcroft to me was a very easy toss. He just does not belong. I think this is more of an owner's decision. But anyway, Skippy Longstocking is, what do we always know about Skippy Longstocking? He's a grade 3 horse. He just, every time he's moved up into grade 1s, he has not fared very well. He's done okay in spots. And this year, in a grade 2, his last race, he did post his career high Brisnet figure of 108. And that's really the only reason I'm kind of reticent to put him in the mix, just because I think there might be a little bit of regression. He doesn't really show it too much on the PPs. I mean, he doesn't bounce terribly much. I mean, this is a horse who's pretty consistent, but we also have to note Saffie Joseph does not have a very good record in Kentucky. He has been doing better of late, but I think given the fact that I just have a feeling he's going to be on the lead or right off of it. I think it may be this field might be a little much for him, so I'm going to let him go. But it is a toss-up. I mean, I could definitely see using him, and I may call an audible depending. This is definitely a race where you're going to be watching the paddock beforehand, and if the price is right, I might throw him back in. Under only, I wouldn't consider Skippy Longstocking a win candidate here. Mystic Dan has enjoyed a rebirth the last couple of starts. The one before it was a little troubling that he just could not get by Saudi Crown in the stretch. Now, Saudi Crown's a nice horse for sure, But um, it was a renewed, a good effort by Mystic Dan, and I've never been the biggest fan of this horse, but I will say I was just like the fact that he, coming back from the Derby, was game, and he did something in his start after that, which a lot of Derby winners haven't done lately, and that's he won a race. Um, and he looked pretty good doing so in the last race. The only thing I'm going to say is uh, he did have the rail, and he's got Brian Hernandez aboard, and that's certainly in this race what they're going to try to do is save as much ground as possible, and we'll see if there's any race riding there that tries to keep him off the rail. But in a small field, I have a feeling he'll probably be able to get there. The question will be how far back will he be, and will it impede his ability to close? But of the horses in this race, I think he's in excellent form right now, and I'm going to pick him to win. He's back on a track that he loves, and a mile and an eighth is a manageable distance, I think, for this horse, and he's just running really well right now. Um, and if he gets that ground-saving trip just in front of behind Skippy Longstocking in first mission, or Ashcroft perhaps, he's going to be tactically in a very good position, and I think he might be able to steal it, and I'm going to try to do it with him. So I'll take Mystic Dan to win. Ashcroft, we talked about, he doesn't belong. Now, the thing with Mindframe is I wonder how much more this horse has in the tank. We've seen him, last year you can kind of give him a pass in a couple of races that, he couldn't get by Dornoch, and he just seemed a little on the green side, maybe too much too soon. Certainly displayed plenty of talent, but this year, the first race wasn't much to write home about. He looked kind of, he didn't look in top form, but that's okay. Maybe he needed a race. But I'll tell you, the last race at a mile, one turn, it was a blanket finish, and any one of those horses could have won it. Mindframe just happened to get up, but it displayed also that thing that, he seems to be a little late to get into a race and engage. He was able to do it, get up in time, but there were a lot of horses who could have won it. So my question is, what's the top end for this horse? Have we seen it? It just looks to me like he's still not dominating races like we thought he would. He's a fine horse, without a doubt. He has a very good chance to win this race, but without real pace in this race, I do wonder if that habit he has of engaging late in races might cost him. I think you have to put him in the mix. He certainly can win this race, but to me, watching him run, he doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. I just expected him to be a much better player, a more refined and a stronger horse this year. He seems to be just, he's good, but I just don't see him at the top of the older horses, and I don't even see him maybe in the top 4 or 5. I mean, that's kind of where he is right now. Maybe he'll do it in this race and put himself over the top. Entirely possible, but that bothers me, particularly with the race shape that we have here. So Mindframe, I'm going to use more underneath, but certainly has a chance to win this for those who want to use him. Hitch Show, that Dubai World Cup, let's face it, that was an awful field. It really was pretty atrocious, and Hitch Show did what he always does. He always seems to bring it every single time, and he won the race. Nothing against him for doing that. It just wasn't a great field. This horse has another one who's proven, for the most part, to be a grade 3, maybe grade low-end grade 2 performer. He brings it every time. I'm a little reticent to use him here, mainly because he'll be coming from off the pace, and we have better back there, like Mindframe and Sierra Leone. And it is a grade 1, and he's more of a grade 3 performer, and he's coming back from Dubai. The work tab looks fine, and he is a very consistent horse. So could he get underneath in the mix here? Sure. And if you want to use him that way, I could see it. I just can't quite get there with him on top, especially since we have stronger later runners in this race. So let's come to Sierra Leone. Is he the best horse in this race? Without a doubt. No doubt about it whatsoever. His debut this year in New Orleans was to me, pretty much as expected. I didn't expect him to win. There was no pace in that race, and we took Touch Upon a Star, and we were rewarded for it because there was nobody who was going to take the lead. And Sierra Leone, what I anticipate is this. Uh, I think as he matures and gets older, I don't think he's going to need pace as much as he did at 3. We saw that with Sovereignty when horses begin that maturity process. The pace becomes less and less of a factor. Uh, I have to believe the Whitney is probably the end game for Chad Brown. He likes to train horses in groups of 3 races at a time. And I have to believe that's the one they're pointing to. He's a Saratoga guy, and I think he'd like nothing more than to win the Whitney. However, the Stephen Foster is certainly no slouch. And it's the second start in his form cycle, so what I would expect is Sierra Leone to run better than he did in his debut. He certainly had plenty of works. He hasn't been out of training. Everything looks fine there. But there isn't any pace in this race. And if he still needs it, some pace to run to, I think it might compromise him a little bit. Again, on talent alone, he can win this race. I really think he can. But to me, because you can't count on him to be in top form, I think you're going to see that in the Whitney or whatever start at Saratoga they decide to run. I'll assume it's the Whitney. That maybe a little something off the fastball, and maybe that's enough to give Mystic Dan a win in a paceless race. So that's what we're going to go with. But certainly, we're going to use Sierra Leone thoroughly, and he can definitely win this race. So we'll look at our wagering strategy. We're going to go with Mystic Dan. We're going to do exactas with second choice would certainly be Sierra Leone, so we'll go 5-4 and 4-5. Then we'll do Mind Frame 5-2, and then we'll do a key box with 5 on top with 2 and 4 to sort of leverage, get a little heavy there. Trifecta, we're going to go 4-5-4-5 with 1-2, and then 4-5 with 1-2 with 4-5. Because I do think the strongest second choice in this race to me, the best horse is Sierra Leone. But I'm just think maybe he doesn't get this one, but he certainly can. But we'll try to go with a little bit of value, just based upon the premise that this isn't the race that they were necessarily pointing to. Chad Brown was, and that the Whitney is something that he's more looking for. But Sierra Leone's certainly going to be very strong in this spot. I want to try to beat him here. Maybe the only time you get any chance you get to beat him. So we'll try it with Mystic Dan, who I think is in the best form and is running on his best. He's a horse for the course. So we'll go with him there in a little bit of an upset in the Stephen Foster. Hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. Wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who continue on to grow our community. Now that we move into the second half of the thoroughbred racing season, we're going to have the full card for Churchill Downs. We're going to have the late Pick 5 sequence. We'll look at some of the other individual races, and perhaps we'll have postings for them as well. So we will be all out at Churchill Downs this weekend. So plenty of content coming. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.